all communication is contextual. Who are you talking to? What are you talking about? What's the environment that you're talking in? One of those three are going to be the point that trips the imposter. I'm talking to someone who's like 5 levels above me. Ugh, my imposter is like, I don't belong in this room. I'm talking about a topic that I know a lot about, but they know more, so that I'm an imposter. Or I'm talking to a group that's larger than I've ever talked to before. One of those three contexts are going to trigger a sense of like, I'm not safe here. There's something about this context that feels out of place for me. And that's where we start to dive in. Like, okay, what is it about that context? What's the message that your brain is telling you that's warning you, hey, this is different, like something's different here. Before you proceed, let's make sure you're doing it right, because remember that time in 3rd grade didn't go so well for you, so let's make sure we don't do it. Time I was in full rage mode. I went to lead a program at the World Economic Forum, and my imposter monstrum was like, and I called my coach. And I was in the green room, and my coach had me on the phone and had me marching around the conference table, asking me questions that presuppose the positive. They're called Afformations by Noah St. John. Affirmations only work when you're already in a positive state, right? If I'm in a negative spiral and I say things are going great, my brain's gonna be like, no, it's not. Affirmations ask a question that points to the positive. So rather than trying to force the brain to go look to take something that's not true, it tells the brain to go look for evidence of, right? The brain is going to search for evidence for whatever we tell it to go look for. Marching around this conference table, why should they hear their voice? Why is your message important? Why are you the right person to deliver this message? Why is your voice needed out there? Why is it important they hear you? Why is it important they hear this message? And I was just, after 10 minutes, I was like, let's go! And I was ready to go out and conquer the world. Yeah, my imposter monster is, it can be very loud. And I named mine Perry the Perfectionist. Perry comes on anytime I need to start speaking, and he will tell me that I missed a word, I missed a point, that person's not listening. Did you see the look on that person's face? They're not getting what you're saying. And I read a book called Taming Your Gremlins, a phenomenal book. You name the voice in the head that's tied to the belief, and you begin a relationship with that voice. And you begin to understand, why does it come up? Where does it come from? What does it really want? How can you work with it? What I didn't realize at the time, and I don't think it's in the book, but you should all know this, you can't shut the voice up. Attempts to shut the voice up make it louder. So what I tell my Perry is, go sit over there, and I will check in with you after I'm done for what you witnessed, and then we'll unpack it. And that has given me an ability to work with Perry rather than having to cage him while I'm giving a presentation. Yeah, I look at imposter syndrome when it comes to public speaking, coming from one of two spaces. The first one is an event that went poorly at any age. When a person got up to speak and it didn't go the way they thought, their brain registers this memory with, oh yeah, that sucked. Let's never do that again, right? And when a person goes into that situation again, the prefrontal cortex is going to send out the alert, like, hey, remember what happened last time? We don't do this. And then amygdala sends out the urgency, like cortisol, adrenaline, get out of there now. So that's number one. And really the way to unpack that experience is somewhere between immersion and exposure therapy. I'm an immersion type of thing. Throw me in the deep end. I'm going to figure out if I'm going to swim or not. Exposure might work as well. Maybe you just speak up to the cashier at a register. Maybe you get your baby steps back into feeling confident again about speaking in front of people. Immersion is you go and take a improv class. The best way to really get your impromptu speaking skills on point is an impromptu class that'll get you out there. So it's kind of an immersion. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it'll help overcome that story. You could pivot. You could go to Byron Katie's work. Is it true? Is it always true? Is it like, what else is true? You could work through. You could also do NLP. Those are really great methodologies for handling that. The second one is a little more complicated. The second time an imposter syndrome comes up for people oftentimes is when we have been conditioned by society to believe that people like us, that look like us, that sound like us, don't get a voice in this room. And we have been conditioned by watching what happens and experiencing what happens when we try to go outside that lane and it doesn't go well. Overcoming that conditioning takes a little bit more unpacking. It takes a little more owning what is the gold of who you are inside and how can you express that, and not owning the projection of who you're supposed to be from society. Like a narcissist is going to tell you, gaslight you, you're the problem, you're the problem. I mean, I'm an empath. If anything happens, it's obviously my fault. So I'm going to do whatever I can to make you feel comfortable. I'm so sorry you have to go through this, right? I'm really sorry. That's my drive, and I have to be aware of that drive. I have to reestablish boundaries with what is and what isn't. And there comes a point where I have to tell myself, not about me. They're not wanting to listen. They're not getting this. They're not being able to process what I'm saying is not about me. And it doesn't stop my voice, and it doesn't stop the importance of my sharing that voice in that setting. Decouple the responsibility for the other person's feelings. Decouple the responsibility for the other person doing their work. Decouple the responsibility for the other person coming up to speed.
Yeah.
And let your truth be known. Speak your truth in that setting within safety parameters, of course. It's messy at first. It's uncomfortable. I remember one New Year's Eve at I did a New Year's Eve yoga class. It was all the way up to midnight. It was awesome. But the instructor said, this year I commit to following my truth, even when that means your feelings are hurt. And I was like, wow. This year I commit to speaking my truth, even before it feels comfortable inside. Baby steps to start putting my voice out there, to start speaking my truth. Find willing audiences first. Get that, build up the succinctness, the concision. It's always going to be messy the first couple of times. Don't worry about it. That is the biggest issue, I think, in perfectionism, but in Imposter is that idea that we have to get it right the first time. And if I'm taking it from a growth mindset versus the fixed mindset, Carol Dweck's work, the idea that, I messed up, that's a good thing. I tried. What did I do well? And I have to laugh. I've been coaching for over 20 years, and every time someone finishes a run, I'll be like, okay, what did you do well? And they'll be like, I talked too fast. I forgot that second. I'm like, no. What did you do well? They won't say what they did well. Their negativity bias is going to everything that they did wrong. And this is key, folks. You have to start by acknowledging what you did well and want to repeat. And then one thing that you want to try different next time.